There you go. Now, it's recording now. The red button has appeared on my screen. I'm pretty sure it's appearing on your screen as well. So we are now recording the lesson, so you can watch this anytime once I post it in the Google Classroom. Once again, I want you to really participate well, particularly if you did not have an opportunity yesterday, because at the end of the day, I will look at the record who participated and they earn the points they deserve. All right? Now, a while ago before the recording during the warm up, I asked everybody to put the word scenario, which I know who did it, put the word scenario or scenarios in the chat. If you haven't done so during that time, we can do so now. Thank you. Thank you for typing it once again. Lovely. Okay. And I can see everyone in the class. If you have not pinned the screen where you see me in action, please do so now. So we're going to, there is a scenario. We're not creating, but there's already a scenario that I thought about, and I think this will help you understand our lesson. Particularly, you probably see me wandering my eyes because I'm looking at the question that I had a while ago. Where is that paper? Hold on. I always do that. Teacher, you're old. Yeah, I'm getting older. Yes, we're going to go back to this question towards the end of this lesson. Before the recording, we took a look at the question. If, again, I want you to think, keep this in your mind because this is the question that we would like to answer. Once again, how does humans and their activities affect the environment or the ecosystem? I know you still remember before the recording, I asked you to share your thoughts on what activities that humans normally do that could destroy the environment. Okay, so keep those in your mind. And then if you have not thought about it, please think about it now. All right, let's go to the scenario. Everyone, please take a look. There are four different kinds of environment that I want you to think about. And these are the following. And as I show you the environment, they are listed in a piece of paper. The first one is a form. As I show it to you, I will also inform you that there are plates that I have here, and there is a sand sample. Let's think this is a soil sample. As I mentioned before, these are not the actual soil from the farm. Not the actual soil from the farm. So because we are making a simulation or a simulation here. All right. I hope that is clear to everyone. Let me see. Is that clear? Because I don't want you to believe that this I went to the farm and grab a soil. Is that clear? Please tell me. I'm waiting. Is that clear? Waiting, waiting. Is it clear? That this, yes. Give me a moment. Yeah, I just want to make certain. I didn't go to the farm to collect soil. But this will be a simulation. All right, let me show it to you one by one. Let me show one by one. And as I show it to you, please type the word that is highlighted with color. So the first environment is a city. Please type the word city. Waiting, at timestamp 119, I must see your word city. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Maria. What about the rest? Okay. All right. Thank you, Jesse. All right. Now, city, but this is city with lots and lots of cars and people. This is how we are going to think about the city, with many people living in within the bounds of the city, as well as many automobiles. Let's say think of Salinas. Okay. And in this city, there are two soil samples or sand samples that will represent. This is for the city with people, city with people. Imagine that this soil sample or sand sample were taken. We took this from that city with many people and many automobiles. All right, second city. Oh no, not second city. Second environment. Oh, Cesar left the meeting. He didn't even reply when I checked his attendance. Ooh, what's going on? All right, could you tell me what is the next environment? Type in the room. River, right. Excellent. Oh, thank you, Cesar, for joining in river. River. The first one is a city with lots of people. The second is a river. But I need you to think that this river is next to factories. Lots and lots of buildings, and there are factories. And typically, some factories are not following the rule. They let all the rubbish directly into the river, which is not good. That's a reality, as a matter of fact. That's a reality. Okay, especially if the place where the factories are, the laws are not enforced strongly. They take advantage of that because they can easily dump their refuse or their garbage or rubbish into the river. All right. Similar to the city, there are two samples that were that we will think that this was actually taken from there. Last two. Last two. All right. The other one which you saw, please type the word farm. A timestamp 121. Yes. But this farm, they use pesticides to kill pests like a rat. Okay? And this was our lesson. That was a couple of days ago. Again, there were two samples that will represent the environment from the farm. And the samples are in the form of sand representing the soil. Last but not the least, could you type this word, the one with green? A timestamp 122. Timestamp 122. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Yeah. Make your name appear multiple times because this is for participation. You probably noticed in your grade that is all mostly participation today. Yeah. Think that a forest with no people, a forest with no factories, a forest with no farms. It's just the natural environment. Think of the Amazon, for example. Amazon is massive. It covers Venezuela, Ecuador, Colombia. It's massive. Most of the Amazon, all right, you can get lost. All right. If you don't know your way, don't go to Amazon because you surely 99.9% of the time you're gonna get lost. All right, because it's really in its pristine environment. It's all natural. Okay. Similar to the rest of the environment, this forest has two samples. Now let me show you once again the entire plate. They are separated by means of dishes and each has soil sample. All right, are we clear so far with our setup here? Type in the chat at timestamp 124. Please tell me if you understood our setup. Because in an experiment, I have to know, if I'm a student, what the materials are for in order for me to be able to answer my question. Okay? Now, let's think like a scientist. And I will think like a scientist and I will act like a scientist. And I will think and act like a scientist who wants to know if there is pollution in this environment. You heard me saying the word pollution, did you? If you haven't heard me saying the word pollution, you're hearing it now. I want you to type the word. Please type the word pollution. Pollution or pollution. Everybody, please type the word now. Thank you, Natalia. Type the word pollution. I can see you typing the word. Let me see who are doing it now. Karen did it. Type the word pollution. Pollution. Jose, finally, once again. Keep on joining in, Jose, huh? Earn more participation points. Carlos, Giovanna, I know you. Show up. Okay, show up in the chat. Thank you, pollution. Right. Huh, it's not lunch yet. You made us hungry, Jose. It's not lunch yet. Lunch is not. It's soon. Keep yourself thinking of the lesson. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Jasmine. Right. Now, I will think like a scientist, I will act like a scientist, and I will use materials a scientist use. But keep in mind, this is simulation. Now, for a scientist to know if there is a pollution in a certain location, what they can do, aside from observing, is use some chemical. I'm going to use a chemical. It's right next to me. And it is properly labeled. Okay, this is it. Let me show you. I covered so it doesn't smell. So this is a chemical that will indicate if there is a pollution. It's properly labeled. It's clear like water, but this is not water only. This will serve and act like a chemical that will tell me, you as well, because you will be doing observation. When some of this chemical is placed on the dish, you will see reaction. And in the past, that was during the first quarter, we have learned lots and lots and lots of times what would happen to two chemicals if they are of different kinds. When it is a chemical reaction, we know that there are changes like bubbling, fizzing, even baking and cooking is a permanent chemical reaction. So in this particular investigation, I'm going to use, and you will observe, the reaction of this chemical to the soil sample that is represented by the sun. In this experiment, if the sand or the soil is polluted, there must be a reaction. Okay? Are we clear so far? Tell me. I'm not putting the chemicals yet. I just want to make certain that you know what to expect. Thank you. It's very important to know what to expect when you're doing a chemical reaction test when it comes to pollution. You will see a change if this is polluted. Okay, let me start. Let me focus. I will start with the river sample. Okay, I will use a syringe and I will grab some. Let me get this one. Some of this chemical into the syringe. Okay, I'll be ready with the towel if in case there's some spills. Excellent. Towel in case of spill. So that's okay. Keep in mind, you should see a reaction, and could you type in the chat what kind of reaction do you see, or what kind of change do you see? If there is a change, this means that the soil is polluted. Let's start with the river with factories. Everyone, please. This is the Liberate Factories. Oops, start dropping. Could you tell me what do you see? Liberate Factories. I will do it again using the other sample. Alright? Natalia said it's fishing. Alright, so once again, tell me what do you see? Fizzing. Do you see bubbles? Yes. There's fizzing and it's bubbling. Now, since there is a reaction, wipe my hand off from this chemical. The fizzing and the bubbling is a chemical reaction that indicates that the soil from the river next our factories is polluted. In other words, not clean. I cannot tell you if it is dangerous for fish. Maybe. Maybe. Once again, this is a simulation. Factories may dump their waste directly into the river, causing the river to be polluted. Alright, let's do the other test. We're done with the river factories. Let's go to the city. Keep in mind the city is described in our scenario as lots of people and cars, automobiles. Similar to the first one, there are also two samples. And could you tell me if this is if the city soil, if the soil of the city, is it polluted or not? This is the city. Let's use this one. Tell me. Based on what you see, is it polluted or not? Is the city soil polluted? Is it dirty? Let me do it again. This is the same sample. Yes, it is polluted based on what we expect. Similar to the first one, because maybe because there are lots of people and maybe the people are not actually doing their part in order to clean the environment. And of course, automobile or cars, United States and other nations, including China, are the two nations that are emitting the most amount of pollution in the atmosphere. Okay, whether we want to accept it or not, United States and China are the two countries that pollute the environment. All right, search it online, you will find it out. All right, so that's why I think we have to think about driving automobiles. If we can walk, let's do it. Getting exercise as well. Right. Okay, how are we doing so far? We have tested two. We have two more to go. All right, let's look at the next one and then the last one. And then we're going to call it a day. But we are going to find out if we answer the question. Next is the farm with pesticides. Farm with pesticides. Okay. This one is a farm with pesticides, and I want you to look at the reaction. Is the soil polluted? Let me do it once again. Farm with pesticides. Is it polluted? A timestamp 133. Yes or no? 133 shall see your name. Oh, definitely yes. Based on what we expect. There must be fizzing, there must be bubbling when this chemical is added, and that indicates that the soil may be because of the pesticides. Once again, this is a simulation. It's not the actual soil that I got from the farm. Okay? We are using models. Last but not the least, what do you think about this? Will there be fizzing? Tell me. What's your opinion? Will there be fizzing? Forests, no humans, no factories, no farms. No, yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's why a lot of people wants to go to the countryside. So let's test. No fizzing. And the other one, no fizzing. So what does it mean? Does it mean that the soil in this environment clean and not polluted? In this experiment, yeah, it is clean, right? Based on this example, this simulation, that among the four, the only one that is clean and not affected by human activities is the forest. City, yeah, people there, construction, automobiles, modern technology, right? Didn't you know that in Salinas, back in time, 100 years ago, there's no people in this area, very sparse. And do you know who are the first organism here in this city? Animals, right? What happened to them? Well, we kicked them out. We replaced the farm with factories. Now we have Home Depot. Now we have Lowe's. Now we have Walmart. You name it, we have it. All right. I think, in my opinion, we're the ones who destroy the ecosystem of the original organisms that live in Salinas. Well, for a reason, we need to have a place to live. hmm Are you still with me, by the way? I feel like I'm alone together with the other students here. Are you still with me? Lovely. Excellent. Let's recap. Let's recap by telling me how you're doing. Tell me your level of understanding. 5, I know it's a well. 4, you know what does it mean. 3 as well. 2 and 1. Waiting. Waiting. Okay. Let me see who did share their level of understanding. Okay. There's a few that I have not seen. Kevin did it. Okay. Excellent. If you haven't shared your level of understanding, please do so now. Excellent. Let us recap. In this particular lesson, we saw this environment which we use as our scenario. Where is the scenario? This is a scenario that samples were taken from different environment and we tested it with a certain chemical that will indicate if it is polluted or not. We found out that many of them are polluted because there are human activities. Driving cars, pesticides, dumping rubbish into the river because of the factories. Alright? Again, this is a simulation. My question for you is that in this lesson, have we had the opportunity to answer this question? Did we answer this question in our lesson? Type in the room. Or did we accomplish our goal? Yeah, a lot of you said yes. I think so. Yeah, we can even make it better, right? We can only do small things. Now, what I need you to do, let me do a quick time check here. What time does the class end? Period. No. Wait, hold on. 1:50, we have good timing. Excellent. All right, now what I will do is I'm going to turn off this recording. Thanks, Carlos. Good amount of time. I'm going to have you look a short video clip. And in this video clip, you will be able to even enrich your understanding about the impact. I will type the word impact. Would you type that word to impact? about the impact. Everyone at timestamp 139, I see your name. About the impact of human activities to the environment, or in other words, the ecosystem. So you will see in the short video clip more enriching information that I hope you find it very interesting and learn from the message that they are going to share with us. Plus, you will see part of the video about our lesson. Okay, let me stop the recording.